little bit complicated, but not too terrible to understand, I guess. As we have got in the top right-hand side, the red Zerg player. This is Reynor. Going to be taking on the blue Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gaming in the bottom left, representing Team Korea today, of course. It is Hero. Reynor playing his GSL match tomorrow. Very exciting. So you guys will be watching that. It'll be, honestly, I think a lot of fun. I'm excited to see how he does and see if he can bring Honor greatness to the GSL. Hope he's just going to flop. Let's see what Hero can bring out. It is going to be PvZ. They did ask if Reynor could play Protoss, but I assume that was if he ended up playing a non-Zerg. And I believe he's got no Protoss player in his GSL group, right? So I don't think he'll mind too much playing ZVP here. Obviously, I question how well prepared he is for some ZVP, but yeah, we can have a look at it at the very least and see what is going to end up coming down. Overlord just continues down the bottom left, probe through the south side of the map. Our Nexus is going to be building as well on the Natural. And that gateway about to finish up too. So, getting that gateway completed. Everything's pretty standard here so far. Not really anything too crazy happening in the very early moments of the game. It's nice. A little bit of time to just get set up, everyone being friendly and getting into a nice little macro focus game. At least I hope maybe a bit of macro focus, right? Something along those lines would be pretty neat. Yeah, happy to see something a little bit longer here. Well, last game, honestly, was just so close. I feel like for Scarlet, I know she obviously wants to fight soon before too many units get there, but I wonder if it was just worth waiting for that initial Baneling speed. I also feel like afterwards, if she could just find a few Zerglings to morph into Banes, it just felt like she never had the Banelings back up and ready to go, and that's obviously a pretty major issue. Anyways, I'm crying over games that are already done. There's a Stargate going down on the side of Hero, so that's going to be his initial setup right here. That's going to be how he gets started. We'll see where we go from there. There's a couple Queens. That's going to be finishing up. A couple drones still coming through as well. And just going to be seeing our link to the right side. It's going to spot this Stargate, which is proxied. So, good spot from Reynor. Knowing this is a proxy means you know to get your units a little bit earlier, your Spore Crawlers, etc., or your Queens in position. So having that information, and also just knowing that it's going to come from here, means that you can obviously be in the right place as well when it comes to the Queens, right? So you know the Oracle is going to come from the right side of the map. You can get your Queens positioned to your main. That's the most likely place those Oracles are going to hit. So yeah, just really nice. Usually with the proxy, the biggest thing is just being prepared for the first Oracle, because it arrives so much sooner than usual. So that is obviously a really good spot for Reynor. Puts him in a really good spot to begin with, if nothing else, at the start of this game. Number 2 in this overall kind of matchup. I don't know what to really call it. It's kind of like, I guess it is kind of like a best of 5, but like obviously you could go 5-0 and then it kind of gives you like lives. I guess just in this stage 1 of today's competition is maybe the easiest way to say it, because like I say, nothing's really simple or easy today. It's a little bit different to what we usually see. A kind of a unique team format thing that we got going on for today's Olimoleague. But hell, you know, I'm all down for it. Sounds great. Here's the Oracles, and 2 of them show up to cancel a Spore and kill the drone. We will maybe get a couple link kills. Obviously, when you're playing proxied Stargate and stuff, this is not really what you want to be doing, trying to crank out like a couple of kills like this. I mean, you're usually looking for so much more, so it's definitely not being ideal, to say the very least, here early on for Hero. Being spotted early is limited what he can do. Lings actually get by into the main, which, I mean, he already sees the Twilight Council, but will get some further scouting as well. Oracle's going to go chase after that to try and help. We actually do lose 1 probe. Will we lose 2? No, but it did force the Oracles to activate their energy. That means less energy left on those Oracles right now as they come back around. Obviously, that's nice just because, I mean, any less energy on the Oracles just means less they can use that energy a bit further down the line. So, again, something else to be pretty happy about. Drone will be finishing from Reynor, and that means he's going to start heading into some roaches. We start talking about maybe what sort of style we're going to see here. Well, Hero's obviously moving into that blink play off of just the 2 oracles, and obviously shouldn't really be able to get too much more oracle-wise, but this gateway has been protected, or the Stargate has been protected. Now it's a gateway too, and Hero actually can put on some pressure. No blink just yet, but already trying to fight with a few units, and like I say, apply some pressure, get some damage done. Let's see if that can successfully happen. As we do have our about a complete +1 missiles is building. The roaches, the queens, the drones, all continuing in production. As we do drop down a pylon right here to that top side. Stalker's just pinging away. The Overlord's taking damage. Queen's already taking shots. The Lings are going to run by into this mineral line. A few probes already going to get healed up by the battery. So again, defense good from Hero, not letting this get out of control or anything early. As you have him killing 4 drones in total. The Adepts even shading out alive for a few more moments as well. So they are going to be able to get out of there. As the drones do have us around the Lings as well. And they are just going to be able to finish off these couple of Adepts. Nicely done. Stalker has taken a few more shots. 10 drones killed. So Hero has found some pretty hefty damage, putting himself in a worker lead here. Currently supply blocked behind you, and that is obviously going to slow down his next round of reinforcements, which might then affect you in this current fight. Ling's running up. Stalker's getting surrounded. Actually kills a couple, then backs away. Obviously the warping coming back at home means that there's not going to be an additional round of aggression over on this side of the map. Very back and forth kind of fight so far, I suppose, in terms of just, you know, Hero kind of the one to really find damage, but is being kind of pushed back a little bit here and there, is taking some hits, is being forced to warp in defensively, all those kind of things. Hatchery to the 4th base location, going to be getting that established as well. Reynolds just going to keep his bases coming online. So do you have Queens stacking back up as well over there, so keeping that going. Our Stalkers, our Oracles coming through, going to get rid of all that creep spread. So a couple creep teamers going down already. Stalkers with the chance to perhaps move on forward here, as they could perhaps go in and try and make something potentially happen. Just move through, and Pylon's already taking some shots, and just going to be taking a couple extra hits right here as the Roaches do find at least some damage. Reynolds bringing an army through the middle of the map as well. I think trying to really kind of mount the pressure right now. He's only got 66 drones, but he is heading towards Hive and the Hydra Den, so looking to aim for kind of that later stage kind of tech to really come through for himself. See if he can be successful on that, as you know, for the moment these Roaches have to back it up. They'll find a free Stalker, but I gotta say, I'm just a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that, again, the Hive and the Hydra Den's on the way. It just feels like it's going to be such a long time until Lurkers are realistically available here. You've still got to make that Lurker, unless we're not going to go Lurkers. I mean, what else could you be doing? Vipers have no role here. Yeah, there's a Lurker Den immediately, but obviously Lurkers, you know, need the Hive for the upgrade, so it's usually you have the Lurker Den finishing by the time the Hive is done. So like I say, it's just going to be a long time where Reynor doesn't really have all the utility he might usually expect to have to kind of get into the Lurkers and, you know, make those Lurkers really useful. I guess Lurkers without upgrades can do some amount of defending at least. They're not completely negated in terms of effectiveness, but yeah, not feeling too great about it, if I'm going to be honest with Reynor. We'll see if he can get to Lurkers. I mean, if he does get that, Lurkers are incredible against this army composition of Hero. What Hero is currently playing just sucks against Lurkers. Like, Stalkers just do not trade well against them at all. So you've got to really play the repositional game. And until they have the upgrades, that's where the Stalkers can still do well. But there's 100% a point in this game where these Lurkers are going to be requiring Hero to have a much different army to what he's currently working on. And while he starts a +2 attack right now, he's not done anything else to progress his tech. So he is just sort of saying, I'm spamming units and trying to kill you. Without something like a Robo Bay or so coming in, I mean, we don't even have a Robo facility at the moment. Without that, Lurkers are genuinely going to be kind of scary. They're going to be genuinely kind of scary. Twins here going to get rid of one of the Oracles already. Stasis Ward is going to come up. on top of these Stalkers. Stalkers still trying to fight. The Hydra's trying to fight back. As Roach is actually chasing away a group of units on the top side. Getting those lurk upgrades now started out. Really, again, just kind of stress the importance of having those properly online and in play. It's going to be a weird fight because these Roaches actually already kind of on top of these Stalkers. As Hero's supply is just melting. Lurkers don't have upgrades so far. It doesn't seem to matter. This first fight has been horrendous on the side of Hero, and he is going to get chased as well. Roaches and a few Hydras dealing a lot of damage here. Stalkers have to start blinking out of trouble. And this really is turning into a little bit of a disaster. Zealots want to come through there, and going to be seeing the Roaches and the Lings continuing forward. Just going to go after those Zerglings. Adaptive Talons coming in as well. That's the mobility on those lurkers I was talking about. As you can see, the triple robo in production from Hero. He is very aware of the fact that he needs some further tech, and he's going to need a lot of it. And that he's probably just a little bit late getting there, so it's definitely starting to be represented in what we're seeing on the screen. I mean, this is definitely going to be a time for Reynor where he can do well. I mean, even adding on like 3 Immortals right now isn't necessarily amazing. Like, yes, it buffs up your army a lot, but I'd much rather see 3 Disruptors, but for that we need the Robos to finish and then get a Robo Bay online. And that's just, again, the extension is likely to be a problem as Lings, Hydras, Roaches start to push on through. A few of these Zealots already going down. Just going to be seeing the Oracles getting shot down as well. The Zealots keep on dropping. The Stalker's still getting pushed backwards. Just going to be seeing the Roaches, the Hydras, the Lurkers all being chased all the way out down to the bottom side of the map over here. I mean, it just feels the Reynor's army is not going to be going anywhere right now, as we do see. I mean, Immortals are going to pop here, but this is all of the Robos. So if we start losing this position, you lose the Robos, it's only going to be these first 3 Immortals, and that's obviously really not great. Lurkers are in position. It's 1 pylon, which could actually stop a 3rd Immortal from getting out. Yep, and this base is now forfeit, so Hero going to get knocked back down to 4 bases. And again, just really having a troubling time. Counterattack Zealots does not do anything really all that successful. This is not going to be good enough, and it does just, again, feel as though Reynor has this first game in his full control. Like you said in this first game, obviously, each of these guys just play a best of 1, right? And that adds into the amount of lives you have left in the all-kill section afterwards, so there's a lot going on there. I guess I'll remind you guys. For now, just enjoy the games, and then we'll tell you guys how many lives each team has basically at the end. Like I said, basically this turns into all-kill, where the number of matches you have to win is based on how many games the team has won in the best of 1 Pro League format style, which is what we're watching right now. GG's from Hero, and Reynor is going to be good to take this game number 2 overall, and that means it's overall 1-1 between Team House and Korea. So, level so far, with 3 of the best of 1s left to go. I guess I'm going to write best of 7. Like I say, it's not really best of 7. If the Foreigner House wins 3 matches, they win. If Team Korea win 4 matches, they win. So for Team Korea, it's like a best of 7. But they lose if they lose 3. So I just gotta put best of 7 on. Maybe it'll help people understand. I don't know. Bottom left, my red Zerg to start us off is Reynor, representing the Foreigner House. Coming out in Waterfall even, as he takes on Beyond from Team Korea. I imagine this is Reynor just wanting to play and be done ASAP, because he's got GSL tomorrow, so yeah, doesn't seem to care about the map or anything, probably just says go, go, go. I just cheese a little bit and see what he can do. Maybe a good chance for Beyond to live and get into a nice little position here. Put himself on a good scoreline. Get Team Korea off to a start that they need in this all-kill section, because obviously it did not go very well for them in the initial portion of the competition. No proxy or anything coming up, although Reynor is also just going to go Hajj Full, so that's also pretty regular. So everything across the board right now is pretty much as expected. See what this develops into. Bjorn is really good at these kind of maps against Zerg because he's very happy to just sit back and just play a very slow game if he needs to. And when I say a very slow game, I really mean like if he just needs to sit back and play defense for a long time. I think he's very happy to play like that. I don't know if Reynor would really let this game kind of get to that stage because I know he doesn't like playing against that stuff. So, and again, this map is very low base count, right? It's 6 and kind of a half or so. So it's not exactly great for Zerg. You don't have an endless amount of time to basically be trading out and slowly overwhelming your opponent. So that's definitely a factor here as we do have our command center going down the low ground, getting that set up. It's going to be seeing the second rack's about to finish here in a few moments as well. It's just getting this completed. There's a couple of drones still on the way out. Hatchery build on the third base location. All of that currently coming through. Marines coming out. 3 Marines coming out. Again, Overlord speed continuing to produce at the moment. Hatchery is about halfway done over on the third base location as well, so just keeping that going. And obviously this kind of 2-1-1 setup, we're waiting to see what exactly Bjorn will be able to get done, see if he can find some damage. The Overlord speed from Reynor gives him scouting and could potentially let him scout this 2-1-1, but it is something which obviously doesn't help you necessarily hold the 2-1-1 beyond that. As oftentimes against 2-1-1 you're just looking to defend with the Queen Ling that you have anyway, so yeah, Reynor at least will have, like I say, pretty perfect info, so that is the benefit he gains from this, if nothing else. This is just going to be seeing how Overlord here is coming in for that scout, so we'll get full information here. We'll see the extra racks, doesn't really need to at this point. Reynor should be pretty aware of what this timing is. And yeah, Reynor with full information to play with early, so he can prep himself to have the right amount of units when he needs them in the next parts of these games. Hey, Wardy, have you been playing much StarCraft yourself? No, I don't really play much StarCraft anymore. For a set of reasons I've mentioned a lot of times on stream. Just don't find it really fun to play anymore. I'm very bad compared to what I used to be, and playing just becomes very frustrating when you can see all the mistakes you're making, and you know what you want to do, but you can't do it because you're bad. And, yeah, I don't know, it just takes a lot of the fun out of it for me, so. Been that way for a while. Every now and then I get a little bit of motivation, I play a little bit of ladder, but even when I play a bit of ladder, it's, you know, going about a handful of games more so than like really trying to sit down and grind out some hours and improve, you know. What league was I in? Last time, well, when I played, the last time I really pushed to play, I peaked at like 5.4k MMR. This is shut down, by the way. First medevac dies as well. This is really bad for Bjorn. He does actually trade out with a lot of the Lings. Well, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought. It's about even resources lost. I feel like losing a medevac in these scenarios is always pretty painful because the medevac feels pretty important, right? But I guess not so bad all said and done here at the moment. Let's see, our engineering base will be coming online in a moment or two, and that means that obviously Bjorn is ready to continue into the 1-1 stage of this game and into upgrades, etc., which, yeah, Reynor at the moment is obviously just coming off the back of that defense. He's got bailing speed on the way up. He's still building actually quite a few queens, and he's going to get his 4th base start as well. Bjorn with the 2-1-1 is a little bit late to the 3rd CC. As Reynor, by the way, good target fire, tries to grab that Widowmine, just can't quite get it. But yeah, at this sort of stage, Reynor's quite comfortable just kind of getting his extra hatch up and taking his extra Evo chambers. His economy's in a good place. This game has definitely set up reasonably well for Reynor, and yeah, I mean, not that it's been bad per se from Bjorn, but obviously now Reynor can have some decent creep on the map and stuff, and this, like I say, is when he gets his extra base stuff and he might start feeling a bit better. Especially now as he starts to have bailing speed to help him out with some of these Marine trades. You can see right now these Marines actually being able to scan and get rid of a few extra creep chambers and stuff. Definitely helping as we do clean out that Widowmine at the very least, which was a Widowmine that was really low HP and had been waiting to maybe try and steal a shot for a little while. Doesn't really end up happening. These melee upgrades coming online and just going to be seeing the Marines going around that top side as well. See where they can get to. Obviously just pulling back home for the moment, try and rejoin with reinforcements. Well, what does Reynor want to be doing? Obviously, Beyond's been pretty active on the map and aggressive. I mean, now is the time with the third coming online that Reynor can start perhaps looking towards a little bit more of a, you know, run-by kind of play, start being a bit more aggressive in the face of his opponent and start hopefully dealing a bit more damage in general. That's something which Reynor would be nice and happy with if you could just try and slow down the progress that gets made on this third base. It's usually a pretty important, a pretty cool way to do things. And he is Morphin Banes out across on the right-hand side, so that run-by on the third is already being set up from him. Definitely straight away identifying just the importance of maybe getting in and trying to deal some damage early. Just trying to slow his opponent down. Come the Banelings. Oh, nice Widow Mine to start though. Gonna hit quite a few of these Banes, and he gives Beyond a little bit of a pre-warning. Banes will now decide to take that leave and back up out of here, so away they go. Falling back as we do have a group of units over here. Actually could end up surrounded. Gotta be careful. I guess you do have the medevac to evacuate with if necessary. And obviously he needs to be paying attention, which he is. He stimmed into that army immediately. And he does evacuate when it becomes necessary. So again, Beyond just doing kind of as expected for the moment. Not treading that bottom side, nothing too serious coming of it. Again, fourth base is now on the way, so again, beginning to prep for that much later stage of this game. Fire Army continues forward and is looking to just keep the creep cleaned out, right? Give yourself a pushing kind of location in that kind of top left side of the map in toward that base. And keep that pathway open for yourself. There's really a lot you can get done further down the line, so any aim at that. The Queen's gonna just win this fight against the Marines as well. Medevac's out of energy, so they can't really do much healing. They can't keep the units alive as much as they would usually like to. Bane Hydra from Reynor. Moving up to the top left, as he does start to get comfortable here, right? 98 drones, economy is big, taking a lot of bases, and Beyond's not really denied many bases. Little skirmish on the right side, Marines are fighting against some Queens, and there's a couple Banes there as well. Oh, Reynor eats a nasty Widowmine shot to start this fight, though. It's a cluster of Lings. Well, as he tries to be aggressive for the very first time, it just doesn't feel successful at all. It feels like quite the disaster in all honesty, so not a great start from Reynor. I mean, mostly just one Widowmine that gets a huge connection will slow him down a lot there. Take him way away from the numbers he will have wanted to have had. As the CC tries to get to the top left to land up and keep things going. And get rid of a Zergling as well. Obviously, this is Beyond going to 4 bases. He's about to cancel the bottom right base. My group of units, I was wondering if Reynor could maybe grab a fight on them, but it doesn't seem like he will find the chance. Kind of gets in range for a moment. There's no speed on the Hydras, which is kind of the problem. If there was Hydra speed, you might be able to chase this down more easily. Now the Hydras are on their own. Obviously, Hydras do need a little bit of protection at the very least to make sure they're going to be okay. Medevacs are going to continue to just save these units and just take them elsewhere. We are now maxed out on both sides of this map, so both sides will be maxed. Bioforce of Beyond coming around at the top. And just looping around here, heading over to the far left-hand side of the map again. And, well, now he's got this drop bottom right, big push far left, and this is going to be our moment where we find out just how well Reynor can do defending in these multiple places for this game. And that's what this is about to come down to. He's already running into this upper left army. He decides to back up for the moment. The Hydras and units are here to defend the bottom left as well, so that goes nowhere. And with Lurkers now coming onto the map, this starts to feel as though this is actually going to be more than okay for Reynor. Turns into pretty solid defense. Lurkers here doing some good damage. I know Bjorn's trying to split around the lurker shots, but, well, that felt like, well, just exactly what Reynor wanted. Big fight that definitely goes in his favor. No, absolutely huge for him. And yeah, again, just feels as though straight away that's just not what you're looking for there on the side of Bjorn. Bjorn's actually a little bit of a weird place because all of a sudden he's actually down pretty heavily in supply, and his bank is pretty heavily drained as well. So way off from where he wants to be. He's got a lurker that's just got a little siege down here as well, and that's just something that's not being removed at the moment. Those things will run in and, well, pretty much just force this base to be evacuated. SCV's going to get hit by Balins. There's no STV evacuation. No, medevac, you were meant to save them. This is really bad. I mean, you're going to lose this base. You're going to lose all the depots down here, factory. There's just so much setup down on this low ground that's just going to get shredded, and Bjorn is going to lose way too much. That is pretty much going to be our first game of the all-kill section going the way of the Foreigner Team House. They need 3 wins, while Team Korea need 4 wins in this match. Bam. Obviously, we'll see who comes out next to play against Reynor. Team Korea can send out anybody, obviously, from the players that have played. So Creator, Hero, Ragnarok, and Hero. So really have a fair few options. Definitely not limited in what could maybe happen. Things coming up here once again. Reynor, it's not quite closed this game out just yet, as we do have Wooden Mines actually going to connect and kill a couple of these lurkers on the way in. And I'm just trying to get multiple units in multiple different places. Just an annoying lurker attack at the same time. You've got that main force setting up over here. Once again, the SCV count is already being absolutely scrapped by these few units. And yeah, this goes out to get some snipes off, but Reynor's rebuilds are already just looking, again, terrifying pretty much throughout these games. Really not letting anything go anywhere at the moment, as we do have couple more lurkers getting sniped down, being taken out of the equation. And now this CC is going to move across as well. Also land down on this corner. So I got the third base location back up. Reynor's just going to get set to go one more time. Again, bank still okay for Reynor. 38 new Balins, about to be hitting 3-3 as well, or at least +3 carapace for this fight against only 2-2 of the opponent. Again, just looks very, very good at this point in time. As Reynor goes for the fight, let's see what we can do here. Can we evacuate these ghosts? Not all of them. Okay, a couple more got picked up toward the end there, but initially that looked kind of bad. A few ghosts go away. Bjorn's going to type GG. He knows he can't stabilize in this situation with this sort of pressure on him. And Reynor is going to get the first map win of 3 needed here. That's it. It's first to 3 for Team Korea, for Team Foreigner House, which is Reynor. And first to 4 for Team Korea, which is currently Creator in the top right. As we get into map number 2 of this series. And get going. See what's gonna happen here early. See what goes down. Hello, Ellie. How you doing? Hello, little one. Yeah, like I said, Creator came out with a few different builds to take some wins off of Reynor in that World Team League match and those World Team League playoffs. It was very interesting as well, because Reynor, honestly, in some of the games felt like he was absolutely about to be dead and about to win, and then he really struggled to take some of the fights. So I wonder if he's able to have improved his own game from those matches as well. Again, Hatch gas pool all coming out here for the moment as we get set up. Next is on the way down from Creator. It's one of the shorter maps, so it'll be interesting to see if there's anything in particular Creator wants to do differently on this map. You know, maybe a little bit more aggressive or so. Absolutely a possibility. Some glaives or something could be a reasonable way to get set up, for example. Is it best of 7 times 5? No. It's a best of 7 between the two teams right now. Well, like I say, it's not even really a best of 7 because the Team Foreigner House only needs 3 wins because of how it started. I just have no good way to display what it actually is, right? There's no built-in feature that lets me say this team needs 3 wins and that team needs 4 wins, so yeah. Special's not included. Special doesn't live in the Foreigner House, simply why. It's for the players who live in Korea, but in the Foreigner House specifically. Yeah, what's up, Stankops? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the Primes, guys. It's like 3 in a row. Thank you so much. I could just put +1 on scoreboard for non-Koreans. Oh, so like they already have 2? That kind of works, right? 2-0 and it's best of 7? Yeah, that kind of works. That's really smart. That's really smart. Okay, let's do that, yeah. We'll just pretend it's 2-0. That does work. Okay, some drones died. My goodness, I was reading Twitch chat suggestions. Some drones died, but a couple of adepts that, well, the culprits have gone down at least. Something's trying to come across, deciding it's not really worth it. There's the Oracle trying to find a way in. The first couple queens trying to zone as best they can initially. And the queens in the main base will do the rest of the job there. Quadra about to pop. Just going to get rid of this Overlord, which is getting a pretty full scout off. Obviously sees that it's a second Oracle on the way, for example. Knows there's a Void Ray, right? So you get some information here initially as Reynor. Nothing to be too sad about then. Trading out the Ovi for some info. Void Ray going to grab a Zergling. A couple of Adepts hanging out. Roach is on the way on the side of Reynor right now, so gonna stop playing that. We saw him play some kind of roaches into lurkers earlier against Hero. See if he wants to play something similar here this time around or not. Queens get here, Oracles get shoved away to the side. Maybe like to come back in towards that main base. The queens are there. Oracle again taking a few shots of damage. Creator is going to pause. We were waiting on Creator originally as well the first time. As good to see what Creator says here. His keyboard seems broken. That's a new one. Every day keyboard breaks. Reynor with the immediate call out. Well, I obviously see if Creator can fix up his keyboard or not. He says go, go. So it looks as though he has fixed it. And we will be able to resume at the very least.
Game resumed.
And we resume. So, we get back into it. get back on track and see if we can find ourselves probably back into this game. Ellie's decided to sit really awkwardly under my table, so now I can't actually sit properly and move around, but that's all good. We will survive. So it's an Immortal on the way up. Fortunate Twilight going to come through as a follow-up. Predator should be very safe here should there be any sort of initial attempt to be aggressive, such as, you know, Roach Rush early or anything. That Immortal will pretty much guarantee that you should be okay against stuff like that. As the feelings across the map will not be able to find too much just yet either. Vodra's going to grab a Overlord straight away too. Pick that up, and that's going to be seeing the Queens still making their way around the map at the moment. Nothing really too wild. I mean, it's this little push from Creator. He does this a lot though, this little Immortal Sentry push initially, and then gets ready to transition from it. I do see a Spire from Reynor was playing something a little bit fun. I like that actually a lot. Spire is very fun because then, you know, there's no Phoenix out. Well, there was a Voidray, right? The Voidray still alive, but did take some shots. And the thing is with this attack of Creator, he never really commits with it because he's never really doing anything beyond. I mean, sometimes he goes 8-gate behind it, but in this case, it's not the case. So yeah, Reynor's not going to get punished for going Spire and backing up some money, and he is going to get mutas out, and he should be able to utilize them. That's want to go in after that Queen. Queen will live to tell the tale another day. The extra head sample warping in as well. Queens are here still pushing the Oracles around. Oracle came back in for Revelation. Wow, that was only just getting out of there alive after that, so good play on the Oracle. Calculated it correctly, called it right. Gets the Revelation and gets out alive. Yeah, the mutas, by the way, and the Oracle's Stasis Wards actually will spot these mutas, so Phoenix production now gets to start a little bit early at least, so a little benefit. As the muta's just going to try for a fourth base cancel initially. We are massing Roach Ravager behind this as Reynor just hopes to get a force an overreaction against the mutas, I imagine, and just swarm with the ground force, so we'll see if that can work. Against 3 Immortals, 2 Archons, the tech is pretty reasonable so far out of Creator. As, the mutas actually nearly catch the first Phoenix. Oh my god, it's so low. Obviously, this back and forth micro is very important because if both of these Phoenix die, then, well, you know, then the mutas can continue to be very annoying. Otherwise, the Phoenix can't shut those mutas down. So yeah, actually important as we do get the mutas to win that fight eventually. Second maybe coming elsewhere as Reynor Max is going to get ready to fight first. Stasis Ward catches a few lings. Second Stasis Ward actually gets a lot of Roach Ravager, and that's going to keep units back a bit, although Credit sits in a corrosive vial or two on the Immortal, eating that and losing some of his shields and his ability being popped already. So we'll see a few more corrosive vials coming down as we will free up these few units out of the Stasis Wards. Credit's army supply really not looking so bad. He is being kept to 3 bases. Corrosive vials in towards the rest of this force. Now we split away a little bit. He'll grab 1 Archon already, going to get the Zealot too. On the right side, we're actually going to start getting rid of some Archons. One of them didn't pick up in time, unfortunately. As you're going to drop a few more vials and actually hitting the Immortals, getting rid of their barriers. It's got to be pretty valuable here, right? I mean, the Immortals just losing that extra tankiness on themselves so quickly. Has got to just open the doorway. This is harassing over there as well. That 1 Archon so low, if we could just get a tap on it to finish it off. Not happening just yet, though. Reynor being chased back, but he's got a ton of units in production. I think it's very important Creator right now doesn't get ahead of himself and just keeps on pushing when he can't really afford to do that, right? I'm going to try and grab that Immortal, not quite able to. The Corrosive Foul, though, yeah, dodges it. Good job. This is the Archon finally now actually might go down. As you see the Immortal in the back there being kept away. Creator's army supply I don't think is good enough to be on creep at all. The fact he's attacking has got me terrified for him. I don't think that's, like I say, really meant to be the situation we're in here. And for Creator, he is now going to start getting wiped out. Obviously, a few bars maybe towards the Prism or so. Force that backwards. The Muta show up to get the Prism. I mean, that works as well. Anything that can force that Prism out of warping mode. And Reynor and the Foreigner Team House will be one map away from victory here, as he needs one more to win this for the... Let's see what's going to happen. As, like I say, this is essentially a best of 7 where the Foreigner Team House is on a 3-0 lead. In the top left, it is Reynor, our blue Zerg player. Taking on in the bottom right-hand side, the red Protoss hero. So, map number 4 essential of this, like I said, it's a bit of a unique format. So do you have our pros? Just going to be getting chrono boosted out here initially. Just having ourselves a few moments to figure out what each side of this will want to be doing. Kind of intrigued as to what hero goes for. Obviously, last time he played, if you weren't watching, he basically played just a 2 Oracle opener and then played into basically Stalker Zealot all in. Like, he never really built probes behind it. He never really was in a great position. And he was just, like I say, massing Stalker Zealots with no further upgrades or anything, and Reynor got to Lurkers, and obviously when you get to Lurkers against that, there's just nothing to actually kill the Lurkers off, or to fight the Lurkers effectively, and obviously then Hero was in a ton of trouble and basically just lost every fight from there on out, so... Oh, link speed coming through at the moment. You're not going to see a Stargate opening here as we get set up. Couple lings get in, gonna go for a few probes. And that's obviously annoying, gets a full scout as well, so good information for Reynor, who is actually getting a few more lings up. He's got 10 lings right now, link speed not far from finishing, and this could actually cause some issues. Just being a little annoying, lings in the natural as well. I guess link speed too far away to really be too consequential here, but yeah, I mean, got Hero scared, right? He's already walling off in case this turns into a lot more lings and something like a run by, and like a link flood. So yeah, a little bit of an awkward opening for Hero already right off the bat. 6 lings die, only a couple probes. Obviously, it slows Reynor's drone count down a little bit, but I don't feel like you can be too upset with that. The way that, yeah, like I say, you got a couple workers, you made some things move around for a little while. I feel like that's fairly reasonable. Like I say, maybe the fact that it was a few more lings made than usual initially can be kind of a saving grace for Hero, but yeah, it doesn't exactly feel ideal for sure as we just get ourselves set up still. Oracle looking around, finds a couple of kills itself. 1 drone, a ling. Still nothing really all that amazing. We've got to be completely honest with you. And the 2 Oracles together will try and make that play out to the top side. Queen's already getting onto them just to shave some shields off, and I mean, any damage you get done early is just less damage you got to do when they're hitting your workers, right? So that's already looking very good. And honestly, Reynor's defense looking spot on. His Hero's going to take the backward base at least, so we do see that happening. And he will now go into the Twilight Council as he hits Oracle number 3 in a moment, so it looks like we're just going to head in toward Blink +1 and just kind of play on that after, post Oracles here. Well, the depths come through, gonna buy a Creep Tumor, or buy a Creep Tumor, kill a Creep Tumor. Wish you could just buy Creep Tumors. $3 for 1 Creep Tumor. Put in your enemy's base, wherever you want. Drop it in, what a spreads. Kings and Queens will be there to try and zone out a little bit of this. Gonna be seeing the Adept is gonna be able to grab another drone. So actually a few drones now going down with the Triple Oracle as well. And the Triple Oracle losing a few drones is usually somewhat okay because Oracles are just in such high numbers that you're pretty much guaranteed to take some damage. Reynor is playing a melee upgrade here, so gonna play kind of a Ling style initially against this. That's fun as well. Gonna be seeing our lag coming up as well. Obviously, the Stalker pressure should be able to begin soon. As the Lings... Well, that's where the Oracles will be very useful, right? Having the Oracles against the Lings is going to be very essential. So keeping these alive and healthy is going to be an important part of these upcoming moments. Yo, Probe, man. How you doing? Thank you so much for the 4-month resub. Hope you're doing good. See you, buddy. Thanks for resubbing. As we got ourselves a few... Oracle's gonna come diving on in then. Gets a few extra drones again. That's just what happens when you got Triple Oracle. It's just so likely that you're gonna be able to get enough done every time. Reynor's economy is down that little bit. I mean, how many workers is lost now? 10? Down by a couple of drones here and there. Starting to play catch-up. Well, should be into a more comfortable lead here in just a second. Oracle show up. 3 kills already. Gonna knock that down as the Oracles will go for a couple of extra drones again. 6 workers now dying. Of assimilators coming up, the robotics facility is going to go down. Again, drones just die repeatedly here, and that's what Hero is banking on a little bit. And he's going to start using these Stalkers for some map control as Hero just knows that Reynor's been building or rebuilding so many drones. There won't be that many units there to be that annoying. Reynor going to end up supply blocked here a little bit as well, so that's also going to be quite painful for a little while. Have to find a way to play out of that, of course. Stalkers going through, getting rid of some of that creep spread initially. Ling's looking to try and get themselves a wraparound here on the Stalkers, and that's actually a full wraparound, and they've already blinked. I know there's Oracles here to help fight. Wow, the Stalkers, honestly, I really felt like that was going to be worse for them than it turned out being. Ling's now having Hydras on the way to try and back them up. That's all this is. Lings and now Hydras. There's not a Baneling Nest down, and we are going to move Infestation Pit down so we can go Hive, we can get the Lurker Den, we can really start making progress here into a little bit of a later stage of this game. Stalkers keep on moving away down the right then, and just going to be seeing the Fieldings getting in good positions to keep some fights going. All the Queens setting up on the top, and just got our Archon Stalkers, Zealots looking to try and maybe move up this ramp. Do have a hallucination knocked down pretty much straight away here. Has that Adrenal Glands on the way up as well, by the way, so still bringing that through. That's going to be, again, Reynor just hitting a lot of this late game tech. Now, at least in this game, Hero is making a lot of good progress towards his own tech, right? Heading straight in toward a couple of Disruptors. So yeah, a couple of Disruptors out. Gonna get the fleet beacon online. Like I say, gotta like those bits and pieces all coming through. That's kind of what you want to be seeing for the most part. So, Hero's tech definitely improving as Reynor is obviously getting there as well. It's this game pretty competitive right now as Hero is pressing forward. He's got a run by on the left side that's intercepted immediately by Reynor. These Zealots will not get very far against +2 Lings. It would be even better if they had Adrenal already, but just not ready yet. Now a couple of Vipers on the way too, so you can maybe start separating some of these Archons in these fights. It's a mothership for Hero, as again, he continues to build into that Disruptor count as much as possible. Let's try to get across the right there. Will not really be successful at all. We'll come back around this left-hand side, and again, Zealots and Archons trying to go running in at those. Those things do get chased away. Gonna carry on their way up right now. So actually moving into that proper late game here from the Protoss. It does mean that you've got an answer to the Lurkers and stuff, right? Because obviously Lurkers don't really deal with carriers. It'll force Reynor into another army. It's just the carriers aren't in good numbers just yet. So can these Disruptors buy you enough time to be okay in all of this? I think that becomes our new question. He's going to fire a couple of Disruptor shots come through. Going to get a couple of the Queens as we do aim towards more of these Queens as well. Let's just continue to look for that. Disruptor's still trying to get through there as Reynor does have a massive counterattack towards the Natural, but there's a Mothership, and he actually can't fight through the wall off because the Mothership is going to block the vision of the gateways and just the walls. So, yeah, no detection down there, and Reynor starts up some extra Overseers recognizing what is currently happening. So, gonna go for it. I mean, the Cyber Core is currently visible. He actually is just going to fight the Mothership with the Hydras as well. Realizes that that might not be the best idea. Decides to back it up for the moment as the Super Battery was popped, though. I mean, Reynor just trying to struggle through this position still. Tough one, right? I mean, can't really break up this ramp. There's a lot of units over here from Hero that's going to catch that Ling. Hydra Force in the bottom left. Disruptor shots firing here as well, though. Let's quickly check in the bottom left. Yeah, Reynor's having a horrible time. Those Lings are pretty much all melted, and the Hydras just don't get a chance to do enough at all. So this is a big win for Hero down in that corner. That is massive for him. Getting a huge amount of damage done. Some Lurkers, though, sieging up this base, and the 5th will continue to take damage. Now Reynor actually reinforced with a flood of Lings down this bottom side, and actually may be able to clean the rest of this up. The Stalkers try to blink away. The Archon abandoned on its own, doing whatever possible. And actually Reynor turns that into a bit of a better fight as both are maxed. Reynor on the way to the Spire, knowing he is likely going to need the Corruptor soon with the way this game is going, and carriers being made. So Reynor prepares to deal with that as we do see some Disruptor shots again landing pretty nicely. Resources lost dead even so far. And this game continues to progress into a later and later stage. Hot Donkey, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 31-month resub and welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. As do have those Lings looking to try and wrap around. Just not going to find too much just yet. We still have this fight over on the 5th in the forward position. I mean, it's so tough to hold this base because of the Lurkers. You can see the High Templar want to try and find the Vipers there. Naturally, they will get some Storms, but a couple of the High Templar do get caught. 2 HTs go down. Don't get me wrong, the Storms were pretty darn good as well, but it wasn't for free. And now the Vipers, playing a dangerous game. I mean, it feels like we're almost trying to bait in those High Templar a little bit. As we are going to be seeing a Revelation go down. We do get a yoink on the Observer of all things. I'm not sure that was really the intended target. I'm going to back it up as these carriers get here, and I think that's going to be scary enough to truly dislodge this, at least for the moment. Actually abducts the Disruptors to deny those shots. The Storm goes down. I actually don't know if I like this too much from Hero. The one thing I really like, well, those Disruptor shots are great. I'm going to say the one thing I like is maybe just the carriers against everything else, because there's nothing left on the ground. It's just the carriers. Reynor should be able to make Corruptors here. He doesn't have the lava just yet. That's the only thing that's stopping him. But he's going to start flooding a base or two with some Lings. So let's get built. I mean, the big thing is that you've denied a lot of the reinforcements and the support for the carriers. As Corruptors now begin to build, he also adds on 11 additional lurkers. Some more lurkers being brought into play. And still just moving around, ready to maybe push up to this high ground here. A couple spores ready to fire. The Banes end up cancelling here. Naturally, you're going to see this Link Force running back over that left-hand side. The carriers will come forward to try and fight. More Corruptors on the way out as well. Zealot still coming up to the top. So we're playing out these Zealots. Hero pretty strapped for cash, but obviously on this pretty stellar air army, 10 carriers against 16 Corruptors, a couple Vipers, obviously going to a few more Corruptors as well, but we're even adding Void Rays in to help out against this. Well, it's still going. Reynor denying an additional base from Hero. Obviously this backward base is a half base as well, so, you know, as bases start to mine out, this base mines out pretty quickly too. Hero has workers that just are not mining at the moment, so definitely a bit of a problem because this base survived. Wow, I mean, not really high enough HP to really justify using it, but it does indeed survive. As we do see our Corruptors trying to find something. They nearly grab an Observer, but not quite. Push forward, just going to grab the Mothership here. Honestly, that's great. Doesn't really create anything one-time warp that really is unsuccessful in achieving much at all. And that's how Reynor wants to kind of fight this army, pick away at the pieces of it just slowly but surely. He did transfuse up this hatchery, so is now usable as an expansion without one Zealot running at it to kill it off. Things ready in a counter-attack as we do have the carry army. Is again up this right-hand side and gonna get set up. Still some Lings over here looking to maybe try and run on by. Gonna try and go through. We are gonna get into this natural. Through the natural and in towards the main base. All these Lings gonna go straight at these bases. The Lings gonna pull down the low ground as well. A couple of extra Zealots just getting warped in. Things will not really do much at all. More of a distraction, I suppose. Doesn't even really free up supply. He makes more Lings, couple Vipers, a great Aspire. One Lurker will finally be handled. Now, this is why Hero's going to try and take his next base. Obviously, he's spent so much attention to holding this base. Holding this base here as well actually would alleviate some of the pressure he's had on this base with Lurkers on the low ground. But the High Templar looking forward for a couple of feedbacks there. Great Aspire again coming online. Looks like Corruptor count out now 23. 5 Vipers as well, pretty important to note because Parasitic Bombs can be big. Obviously, an Abductor 2 ahead of the fight can be huge. And also improving the air upgrades. +1 fly carapace is about to be done, so those Corruptors are about to be that much tankier. Pretty big deal when you're fighting against Interceptors, right? Definitely notable as got a little abducting action there. Gets a Void Ray. A little bit of Lingbane is going to run straight into that force. Obviously, that's not what you want. Lingbane wants to try and hit a mineral line, but we'll have to be creative with finding a way around as we do feedback one of the Vipers here. The High Templar is still doing a good job of zoning those out from being all too comfortable all the way throughout this. Just a few spawns on the high ground going a long way. These Banes want to try and crash into the static defense, which is a single pylon powering all of it. Oh my goodness. This base is probably going to die. 16 probes go with it as well. What a little run by from Reynor. 1 pylon powering everything there. He might even keep some Lings alive. If he just ran up with these Lings already, yeah, he honestly could have got a lot more out, but either way, fantastic. 19 workers killed, all that stack defense wasted, base cancelled / killed off right. I mean, that's actually a pretty good fight for Reynor. I'm just going to keep Hero away from some of the mining he's been aiming for throughout this, because kind of Lurkers over here going to look to try and cancel this base as well. There was a couple of Archons over here at the Prism. I believe the Prism has died. No, the Prism's actually there, so it's just the Archons have kind of walked in on their own accord. Section nearby, though, so the DT doesn't do much either. So we are going to find good feedback to start this fight. The initial Parasite Bomb did go down pretty nicely. We're going to Parasite Bomb into the group of carriers as well to try and get some good splash on those. Waiting for these Void Rays to be out of prismatic alignment so that the Corruptors do not get lasered down so easily. The Brood Lord's trying to zone out the High Templar, and so we don't get stormed as easily. That's pretty much the ground force gone now. Now's the time to fight as the Brood Lords were taking some of the damage. The Corruptors, how will they fare? 13 of them remain as they try and take down this carrier force. 7 carriers remain, 8 Corruptors, 34 new Corruptors on the way. Wow, that's actually going to do it. Right, that's going to wipe the floor with this air army, and then you can make a few Brood Lords to deal with the rest. Zealots reinforcing this. All the Corruptors just need to try and pop out at the same time and try and fight this all at once. And these carriers, I assume, are probably going to try and recall out of trouble here because they do not have any proper support for themselves. We've already Parasitic Bomb. Do we not have a recall available? We should do. The carriers just stick around from Hero. I mean, the Zealots are trying to get this base. Reynor is trying to deal with that as well, though the Corruptors completely destroy this fight. And the thing is now, I mean, we warp in Stalkers. Is that too many Corruptors? It might be because Reynor can't morph them into Brood Lords just yet because he doesn't have the money. This is where they kind of need to just find a way across the map, maybe find some Stargates or so. As Hero is going to be low on cash, and Reynor really just needs to find a way to kind of fight this one more time. A couple of Lurkers still around from earlier are going to be very good in these situations because there's just nothing to really wipe out Lurkers anymore. Yeah, this base is going to get cancelled again. These Lurkers have been here repeatedly. Ling's looking for the counterattack, keeping Hero really just strapped for cash. He's so heavily mined out from most of the bases. Like, he's got no gas income apart from this base right here. He's just got so little to work with as we do see Stalkers finding both of these Lurkers, so that is at least a cleanup. His Ling's going to run in here, but just too many cannons. Mothership on the way out. Again, for Reynor, as he gets some money up, he just needs to find a way to utilize these Corruptors. He's got 32 of them. How even are they right now? Over here. I mean, that's just a lot of army supply that's not useful, which means that the overall effect of army supply in this game currently is very close. But of course, as you add in additional Brood Lords from those Corruptors, Reynor will start to take a significant lead once again. Mothership has spawned. I'm not sure if that's really gonna... Oh, yep, well, minus 400, 400? Yep. Cool. Even kills the Prism along with it. Extra 200 minerals, 250 minerals lost, right? So, oh, the Vipers, though, left alone. Okay, that's really sad for Reynor, losing a couple of those. We're going to caustic spray this base. This is Hero's only source of gas income, guys. Yep. And it's dead. Trying to get this base over here as well. Cancer actually killed off, so yep, Hero can't get this base online either. And Hero is slowly just dying, guys, because he just really can't build anything else right now. Long distance mining is all he's really got. He's not got any mineral income apart from this one patch. And long distance mining, like, he has no good way to play this right here. Lurkers burrow up, gonna chase those Stalkers away straight away. Burn again, good damage done. As you do see the Lings coming back across, looking to try and surround those Stalkers. Lings and Lurkers down through the center of the map. Just gonna see the Stalkers still moving through. At this point, we've got 15 Lurkers as well, and I just don't think there's an army to ever kill Lurkers with Stalkers, right? Stalkers just do not do well against Lurkers at all. And Reynor knows all he has to do is keep denying these important bases. He's going to catch the DT here as well. Corruptors into the main. I mean, take your pick. Doesn't really matter. Reynor's going to do it. He's going to get the all kill. And he is going to go 4-0 on the day to help the Foreigner Team House to their victory and their better prize money.